Hey guys, it's Corey here from the LG channel. Life is good. I want to thank you again for subscribing and tuning into my channel. And of course, if you haven't yet, you can easily do that by clicking the subscribe button right below. So today I was going to make a quicker video. It's not going to be too long, but I just wanted to talk about, for people who might be interested, really this video is basically your first week on the job in IT, okay? So I'm basically going to explain to you my experiences and what I've seen from other people in my experience with their first week on the job, right? So you're going to be scared, right? You're going to be a little fearful. You're probably going to have a little anxiety because guess what? You've got a new job, right? Great. You finally broke through into IT. And now you're gonna start your job, but you have no idea what to expect, right? Maybe you're an intern, maybe you're just a new guy to IT or a new woman to IT, right? So here's what you're gonna expect, all right, guys. The first week is gonna be basically, depending on the size of the company, it's gonna vary, right? If you're working for a super large company that's got a lot of processes, a lot of systems, a lot of things to learn, your first week is likely going to be spent just learning things about the company, the various departments, their business, things like that. That's things you're going to learn and do the first week on your job. If you're in a really big company, which I would say is like maybe 10,000, 5,000 to 10,000 people in the company. To me, that's sort of a large company, and that's kind of what you're going to expect. So along with that, maybe they'll get you a laptop and get your email set up so you can communicate with team members. Maybe they'll get your IM or your Jabber or whatever instant messenger you're going to use. They're going to make you do some meet and greets and introductions. You might actually get invited to a team meeting or a department meeting where you'll be introduced in a big group of people to sort of welcome you to the team. Or else you might just basically be shadowing or following somebody else who kind of introduces you to people around the office, right? But what happens if you're in a small company, right? Now, okay, so you worked for a startup and you're like employee number 10. What's your first week on the job going to be like then if you're working in IT, right? So if you haven't checked out some of my other videos, please do. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about my experience in IT, and those videos are really valuable for people in IT and looking to get into IT. So please check those out. But where I'm going with this is if you're working for a small company, which I have, let's say like employee number 10, which I've been before, you're basically, your first week on the job is going to be a lot different. My first week on the job as employee number 10 at that company, I was like debugging code, I think the second day I was on the job, right? There was so little overhead that the first day I had gone through all the processes and procedures of the company. I had met everybody in the company. I'd got my equipment set up, got access to a lot of things. And so my first week was already training on the job, jumping into things, okay? So be cognizant and sort of expect and anticipate that if you're working for a smaller company, they're going to expect you to hit the ground a lot sooner. Any company would like to and prefer that if their employee they hired had some knowledge, even if it's like you just got the job, you were just hired, and you were just started to Google things about like the tools or the software that they use to do their business, so that when you walk into work on Monday or whatever day your first day is, that you're ready to go, right? You don't look like an idiot. You look like you're well read, and you've done your research on the company. You know what to expect in terms of the tools. You've asked good questions in the interview, so you were able to take notes and then research these tools that your new company is going to use. So you have an idea of what to expect, right? That's going to reduce some of your anxiety and stress. Of course, having a shadow, if you don't have a shadow your first week of the job, I recommend finding one, whether they're assigning one to you or not. Find somebody that can be a good mentor to you and that enjoys doing it, that doesn't sort of act like, oh, I've had bad mentors who are like, basically this guy's a waste of my time, right? That like, he's just a burden to me. I don't want to train him. I don't want to teach him anything I know. And that's just a bad approach for any employee. And those employees, you'll find them, and you'll learn to stay away from them when you need to, right? So find somebody who's willing to share their information, their tribal knowledge with you, and buddy up with them the first week on the job, and just pick their brain and take good notes, and practice and do the things that they're doing, and try to shadow them as best you can, so that you can add value right away, right? The sooner you can add value to your job, if you can add value the first week, if you're already showing your value, if you're already producing for the company, or doing good work right into the first week, your second week's going to be easier, your third week's going to be easier. By your 3-month review, things are going to be rosy, and nobody's going to have any complaints, because you've been doing good work. You hit the ground running from day one, right? And it's a no-brainer. So now, if you're working, so what else can you expect in your first week in IT, right? You might get taken out to a lunch, like a welcome lunch with some of your immediate team. So one thing I would not recommend doing is, if this welcome lunch is at like Spicy Hot Bob's Buffalo Wings, don't order like the number 10 Ghost Fire mixed with habanero and jalapeno. Like, try to be a little more mild with your first meal with your coworkers. No need to impress them with the amount of hot spicy wings you can eat, or how much you can sweat after eating them, right? So slow baby steps, right? Sort of wade into the water at your new company, but be eager, be willing to listen and learn, and willing to help, right? Because that's going to go a long ways in your first week on the job. Don't sit there heads down waiting for somebody to tell you what to do, right? I don't know the last time that you did that, unless you were instructed to do so. But if you weren't, then let's start working, right? Let's meet people and schedule meetings and figure out what work we're going to do and what projects we're going to be on and what systems we're going to support and the business we're going to support. Start answering these questions on your own, and don't wait for somebody to come tell you, okay? Everybody, I can tell you in my experience, starting I've had like 18 jobs in my life, I think. So, and I've never gotten fired from like the first initial 3-month period where they're like, you're just not cutting it. You're just not making it, Corey. You're not doing a good enough job. That's never been me, because I've always done a phenomenal job. Maybe I haven't liked the job, okay? But it's not for me to do a terrible job if I don't like the job, okay? It's up to me to find a better job that I will like, okay? And probably a little bit my fault for not doing the diligence up front to actually find a job that's, worth it for me. So your first week on the job, maybe you don't like your job the first week. Maybe it's terrible. I don't know. Maybe it's just like, oh man, this is not for me. Or you can see that there's some issues. Like, know what these problems are so you can address them later. And maybe it's just that this company is terribly managed and whatever, they're unprofitable and the morale is terrible. You'll learn that in the first week, and maybe you've got another job in the ringer that you said yes to too. That happens so many times. Your first week on the job, you might actually get another offer from the best company in the world, your dream company to work for, and they were maybe just a little too late to get back to you. And all of a sudden, you're starting your new job, and this company that says, we'd like to hire you, this other company. So what do, right? It's your first week on the job. That's up to you. You gotta compare apples to apples and see what's best for you, right? Don't burn any bridges, obviously, because you've already met and made a ton of valuable connections at your job. So don't burn those bridges, but if it is something where the opportunities may be closer or just better, take that opportunity if it's best for you and your family. But so that's sort of the first week on the job and what you can expect. They're going to get your computer set up, they're going to get you access to systems and your email, and the regular business software and things that you need to do to use and do to do your job. You're going to meet some people, orientations, you're going to have some trainings, and if you don't have any training, that might be a red flag that the company's really looking for you to just do the heavy lifting, right, and self-starting. So But if you've got great training in the first week on your job, things might look good. Usually it's a great gauge of where you're headed after the first week. So take your first week with a grain of salt. I've seen people who show up in IT and they're almost like too ready to go, right? You have to take it with a grain of salt because they might not be ready for you, right? Oftentimes, like when somebody gets hired, they don't want to lose the person they're hiring. So they're scrambling after the fact to just get things in place to support the hiring of that person, of you, right? So they might be still scrambling. So be cognizant of that and be aware of that, and don't be pushy. Just sort of be patient when you can, and know that like if there's important things you need access to, know when to sort of be the squeaky wheel versus being patient. So you will require some patience your first week on the job. I always picture it this way, like if there's gonna be 1 week on my job where I'll probably be the least busy as I ever have been, it's probably the first week, right? Because you're still learning, you don't know anything, you're kind of tossed into the fire, and you're just getting up to speed. So like that first week, don't stress yourself out, right? Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because it's gonna be the easiest week ever, right? It's gonna go by so fast. Likely you're going to be exhausted from learning so much stuff. So you're going to be tired, right? So get some good sleep that first week. Keep working out, keep your health and fitness up. That's going to help you get through your day and help you learn and retain your knowledge. And I hope that advice is good for you guys. I didn't really tout any other videos here. I didn't want to. I just really wanted to let you guys know what my experiences were the first week on the job. I've had some good and bad experiences. It's going to go either way. So, but that's not going to be a testament to how it will always be, right? I've had a really rocky start in the first week, and then the job's been awesome. So, like I said, be patient. Don't judge everything by the first week that happens, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself at your new job and learn something. Take something valuable from it, and do something with it, right? And better yourself, improve yourself. I hope that video was good for you guys. Hopefully, it was a little more inspiring and said, hey, Corey, great. I was a little scared. I was a little worried. I didn't know what to expect, but thank you. Hopefully, if not, if you don't work in IT, if you're not getting a new job, whatever, I'm glad you listened to the video anyways. Maybe it was just to look at me. I don't know. But thank you for that. And keep tuning into my videos and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Hit the bell that's down in the corner, because you'll get notified instantly when I cut a new video. Could be about IT, could be about health and wellness, fitness. Could be about personal development or just motivation, right? So I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for listening, guys. I really do appreciate it. Have a great day. Be awesome. Life is good, baby. LG!